Hi, in the last video we graphed compound inequalities. In this one we're going to solve one-step inequalities and graph our answers. This should go quick. I don't think you're going to have trouble with this. Let's find out. All right, so here's an OR statement. It's basically two little inequality problems mushed together with an OR in the middle. So we do each one separate. So here I'm going to subtract the 2 from both sides. And we get x greater than 8, and we graph that. Put an open circle on the 8 because you can't land on it, and then you're going forward because you're bigger than that number. On this side, we're going to subtract 7, and we end up with x is less than -4, and that's what that looks like. We're done with that problem. See, I told you. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Let's do example 2. Things might get a little more interesting here because on this first one we have to divide by -6. And if you notice, I flipped the signs in the answer. So instead of the greater than symbol, I now have the less than symbol. That's because I divided by a negative number. Let's go ahead and graph that. We have to find the -7. This graph is moving by 2's. My -7 number is there. That is an open circle because you're not landing on it. It's not equal to. And you're getting more negative because x is less than that number. All right, that's one's done. Now we move over to the other side. X is being divided by a -8, so we're going to undo that by multiplying. Did I say negative? It's being divided by a +8. And because it's a positive number when I multiply, I do not need to flip the signs. So our answer is x is greater than 8, and that is what the picture looks like. Example 3. Oh, these are my favorite. Okay. It's like a 3-sided equation, but it's not an equation. It's an inequality, but you look at the middle and you think, what do I need to do to get that x by itself? And whatever that is, you have to do it to the other ends as well. So here it's subtract that 7. So when I do that, I take 7 away from 9 and get a 2. I take 7 away from 12 and I get a 5. No sign flipping going on here. Subtraction doesn't do the sign flipping. Only multiplying or dividing by a negative number does that. So then to graph this, we have x is in between these two numbers, but not equal to them. So we have open circles on both of those numbers and filling in everything in between. All right, I saved the best for last, example 4. Now I need to divide by a negative number. I have to divide by -5. So that means all the numbers are going to be divided by -5. Negative divided by a negative is a positive, so this is going to be a 10. 35 divided by 5 is 7, but they're both negative, so this is also going to be positive. The x is in the middle. But I left the signs blank because we are going to have to flip these signs. So they're going to look a little weird, but that's okay. We're going to graph what we see. And in a second, I'll tell you how you're supposed to write this. But I want you to see the picture first. Okay, so x is between 7 and 10, even though this feels like it's written backwards, but that's the situation. So the 7 is the first one. The 10 is the second one, and x is in between here. Now, if you just saw this graph and I asked you to write that inequality, you would write it like this. Okay, I don't want you to overthink this. The signs ended up flipping back to what they were before because we had to kind of rearrange these numbers so that the smallest number would be first. Please don't overthink that. Do not overthink that. Just go with it. Whenever you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to flip the signs, and this is the correct way to do that. All right, grab a piece of paper. I have a couple I want you to try. And that's what you should have gotten. If you didn't, go back in and look and see if you can find your mistakes and fix them yourself. If you can't fix them, ask me if this is real life or your teacher, or put a comment down below and I'll help you out with it. Let's do it again. and you should have gotten that. This is like that last example we did where everything would flip around a couple times. This is the trickiest one of the bunch. I totally expect you to have questions about this, so go ahead and ask me now. And I'd like to thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.